Morning Stampers, it's Meg from LovenStamps, and this is Monday morning, Maker Mornings with Meg. Took me a second there, because it's Monday, right? So I hope everybody had a great weekend. Ours was super busy with lots of fun things. I can tell you more about that, but today we are, hey Margie, and hey Carol. Today we are opening our April 2021 paper pumpkin box. Oop, and it's already open, so things are falling out of it. But I have been waiting for this one because it is fun, bright colors, and I, as you guys know, really kind of groove on the fun, bright colors. So I'm gonna run through really quickly one of the cards that's included, just the way it's set up. And the directions this month are, I think, fabulous. I love the way they lay it out. Hey, Deborah and Cindy and Sandy and Petra and Rita and Trish and everybody. So, morning. I love it when you guys say good morning. It just kind of, it makes me feel like we're all kind of getting together. So, having some fun crafty time. So, Kelly and Jeanne. So, paper pumpkin. I did check right before I got on our video today, and the refill for this kit is available right now. So if you are looking for the refill, which would be all of the consumable parts, then you can get that, and it's $10, and it makes 12 cards, and it's a really cute kit. You're gonna see it. The paper pumpkin refill link is in the video description, so you can check for that there. And later today, I will post the rest of our supplies from today's project so that you can check those out if you're interested in them. And be aware that paper pumpkin refill kits are only available if you're a paper pumpkin subscriber. So become a paper pumpkin subscriber if you're not already, and pay attention. I'll remind you when we get closer, but in May there's actually going to be a special for the June paper pumpkin kit, and I think the date is like May 7th. Don't quote me on that, just stay tuned for more details. But if you've never subscribed to paper pumpkin before, if you've never signed up, you're going to want to do it then, because there's a $5 sign up special. So if you are thinking, well, shoot, I've already subscribed to paper pumpkin before. Hey, you have had all the joy of these kits for so long, right? So we're excited to have some new people get started too. So you guys ready to get stamping? We're gonna use watercolor today for our alternate project. So I just wanted to show you these two ink pads and talk a little bit about the difference, because I find that this is something people get confused on a lot. We have Memento Black, my well-loved ink pad there, and we have Stays on Black. And these two ink pads are different because Memento Black is a water-based ink, and Stays on Black is an alcohol-based ink. And if you forget which one is which, here's the clue. When you open a Memento pad, it's just a normal ink pad, just like that, fabric covered, nothing weird in the case. If you open a Stays on pad, inside it is this plastic lid, okay? So think about it, what evaporates really quickly? Alcohol. So this plastic lid, which says on it, protective inner cover, do not discard. That is to protect our alcohol ink, just an extra layer to keep it sealed when it's in its case so it doesn't dry out. And when we get to our watercolor, this is what we're gonna wanna use, because we want our lines to be stamped in a material that isn't water soluble, because we don't want our water to smush it around. If we stamped our lines in Memento ink, which is water-based, and we added water with our water painter, then this would run all over the place and make a mess, which sometimes is the effect you're going for, but not today. All right, guys ready for paper pumpkin? Hey, good to see you guys. Teresa and Rita and Vicky and Denise. So I'm gonna flip you guys down here to our table. And let's see, get you all kind of centered. Get my computer out of the way. All right, okay, so now, oh, we're all crooked today. That's gonna drive me a little crazy. Let's see, there's better. Okay, so let's check out our plan here for our kit. Smush this stuff out of the way and bring this in. So paper pumpkin this month comes in its fabulous orange box as always, and inside is a stamp set, which we're gonna use for our alternate projects. Bermuda Bay ink spot. One of the things I love most about paper pumpkin is building up your ink every month. Stampin' dimensionals, some cute ribbon. It comes with a little reminder that the ice cream corner suite is a perfect match for this. I've used these papers to do a whole bunch of cards, so you can look for those on my LovenStamps blog if you want more ideas. And then we get to the stuff that's included. So this is what would be in the refill if you want more of these materials. These envelopes, which have the fabulous printed, they're actually printed rather than having a paper insert. I love that. So they fold really easily. And then the card bases. So there are popsicle card bases, 3 of each one, and they fold like this, and then you would have this be your card, and you embellish the front. So there's kiwi ones, rainbow ones. There are these really sweet watercolor cards here with the watermelon. I couldn't remember what that fruit was called for a moment. And then we have our rainbow ones, and they are gonna kind of fold this way. So lots of bright, happy colors in here. And then underneath those are the silver pieces. And here's a hint for you. When I get a die cut sheet like this, and I mean, it's not just the camera. I can't see what's on this either. My best strategy is to flip it over to the back side and look at the lines on it, because then you can see where the die cuts are and exactly what shapes you have. So you go crazy trying to study this side. This side is much better. And then we have our label sheets, so 2 sheets of these, circles and stitched these, which stitched, you guys know, is super hot. And then there are these fantastic stickers, like full-on stickers. They're a little heavier than ones you'd get, you know, like from the, I don't know, the crafty aisle at a big box store. But yeah, they're stickers and they're adhesive, so you can use them for lots of things. And then little glue dots. Okay, so with that in mind, I told you the directions for these cards were fabulous. Here are the pictures of them. And so the directions actually kind of go just really step by step. Step 1, stamp sentiments on the white labels. And let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna talk and stamp at the same time, but let's see how long it takes us to make one of these. Let's see, we have to pick which one we're gonna do. Let's just do a hey there kiwi card. Okay, stamp things on your things. All right, let's see. I don't know, maybe we should time it. Maybe we should not time it. And I'm gonna use my Bermuda Bay pad instead. Now, you've heard me say before, maybe when I have a sheet like this, I like to keep my labels in the sheet before I stamp them so that I can kind of better center what I'm working on. All right, and then we have attach glimmer die cuts to card base with glue dots. I'm not gonna use glue dots. I'm just gonna use my Stampin' Seal. Yeah, Stampin' Seal. And I need a base here. Okay, so I'm attaching the base. If I forget and follow directions wrong, you guys will let me know, right? Sometimes I like to look at the picture too. Okay, yep, it says to stick that down there. All right, so there we've stuck it down. Then it says cut 12 inches of baker's twine and tie a bow. Oh my gosh, actually, I love this. Okay, I'm learning a tip this morning as we're doing this together. I love that when you tie the bow, your pieces are gonna be like all organized so that you have cute little pieces that stick out around the edges without having to like try to control all the random string. What a great idea. Okay, and then I'm going to put a glue dot on here or a Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm going to pop this bow on, and then I'm going to, does it say to put another one on top? Makes me nervous. I don't think it's gonna stick super well, so I'm gonna put another one next to it just because that ribbon sometimes gets in the way. There we go, and stick that down. Okay, ding. That was less than 2 minutes to make this card, and it's darling, and it comes with a cute envelope. So then you could pop this in here and so forth. So isn't that darling? And I'm pretty sure that this is big enough that you could put a gift card inside here or something if you wanted. Certainly, if it poked out the bottom, that would be an extra little treat. So, okay, well that was easy. And then you can see how they kind of suggest using the little edges there to, the stickers to seal your envelopes, okay? All right, so that was our 1 minute card, 2 minute card. So let's come back now and let us look at some of these other stamps. So on the stamp set, we have happy birthday, hey there, you're so cool, way to go, watermelon speckle, and the popsicle. So I'm gonna bring this popsicle back in here. And let's see. Oh, lots of people are saying it's sunny where they are this morning. Yeah, sunny here too. I was at Boy Scout camp with my son all weekend, and it only rained on us a little, so we counted that as a huge win. Okay, so we are going to go with a super watery kind of look for these. So if you look at the card bases they're included, they have this fun watercolory kind of effect. So we're gonna work on painting in this. And to do that, I'm gonna use the watercolor paper. So like I said, I'll put the link to the supplies in after I'm done filming this morning. But the watercolor paper is great for this. It's designed to have just the perfect amount of absorbency and to really take volumes of water without getting all curly and messy, okay? So we're gonna start with this. And as I said earlier, if you missed the explanation, you can go back to the beginning and watch. Not Memento, this is water-based. If you use water-based ink and add water to it, it smears. Alcohol ink stays on, will not get smeary with water. So you want to opposite solvents, okay? And don't throw away this little inside piece here that says protective cover, do not discard. It's helpful that it's labeled. All right, and then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to go ahead and stamp myself a couple of these fun popsicles, okay? Now with StazOn, you want to cap it right away, and you're gonna put that plastic cover back on and close up your pad. So now the other thing about these is that they're different from the regular Stampin' pads. When you have a Stampin' pad, I'll give you a little tweak here. When you have a Stampin' pad, if you look at it, so this is how it's stored, right, with the label on top. If you look at it, the pad, see there, is actually on the top. So it is face down, which means that when it's stored, the ink is sinking to the top of the pad. Now with a StazOn pad, it's set up sort of the traditional old-fashioned stamp pad way. So when I store my ink pads that are like this, I always flip them upside down because I want the ink to, you know, sink down to the surface of the pad, okay? All right, just a little hint. So I have my water painters. They come 3 to a package. I really like this big flowy middle one. And if you're trying to open these the first time, be aware that the barrel is threaded the opposite direction, okay? So if you can't get the barrel open, just remember, oh yeah, Meg said that that was backwards, okay? So we're going to take our water painter. There are little buttons on the side or flat spots that say push. And I'm gonna push there. The more water you have in here, the less hard you have to push. But I'm gonna get this kind of moist at the end, and I'm going to go ahead and pre-wet this. So I'm gonna pre-wet all of them. Okay, and so you can see there's no smearing because I used StazOn ink. So I'm going to just let some water sit on there. And often when you watercolor, you wanna pre-wet your paper. Now, where am I gonna get my color from? I looked at this kit, and the colors that are in it are Bermuda Bay and Bumblebee and Old Olive and Blackberry Bliss. So I had these guys, and then I wanted a pink in there, so I added Magenta Madness too. And here is my fun tip for the morning of how to get your ink ready. So I'm gonna make, take an extra block, a big one makes it a little easier, and I'm gonna make myself a palette. So I've got my Bermuda Bay. I'm gonna open up my Bumblebee and put my Bumblebee on there too. And all I'm doing is just tapping the side of the ink pad onto the block. Get my Blackberry Bliss, get my Old Olive, whoops. And then I still need Cinnamon Cider and Magenta, right? Okay, I think I left myself enough space to kind of go here. And you can see this really gorgeous color palette starting. And so it's a great way to get ink out of your pads. I know when the pads were the old style, we used to say just squish them, squeeze so that the lid and the pad contact and you get like a pool of ink in the middle, but they don't squish quite as the same way anymore. They're a little sturdier. And so I don't want to damage them. This is a great way to do it and just gives you more flexibility. And then the other problem with having ink in the lids was that sometimes they got really runny and then you'd tilt your pads and you have stuff splurging out everywhere. Just like bleeding everywhere. Oh, which reminds me, on Friday night this past weekend, we got to go see the parent preview of my daughter's high school production of Little Shop of Horrors. So if you have any interest in seeing high school theater productions, I'll have to share the virtual link, or you can ask me for it. The virtual link to see that show. So it's like May 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Anyway. Okay, so I'm rewetting my paper. It was really fun, actually, really fun. Okay, so I'm rewetting my paper, and then I'm just going to start coloring. So I'm going to pick up some color here, and as I put this on here, you can see the colors kind of mushing around. There are kind of a number of different ways that you can kind of play this. If you want really dark color, you can pick up a lot of color and not put a lot of color on your, or not a lot of water on your brush. If you want to go on to a different color, I'm gonna bring in an extra sheet of paper so I don't get my surface all watery. I'm just gonna run this out. I'm squeezing and running water out until that color is pretty well done. Now, I think I'm gonna squish some water out from the middle. I'm gonna come down here and I'm going to do Bumblebee. So since we're not trying to match like a designer series paper, really you can kind of do whatever you want. And I'm gonna give those a second to kind of run together however they may. And then when this is a little drier, I'm gonna add some water back to the center. So let's see, I think I'm gonna color just one part at a time. And we'll go with some magenta here. And you can see the color spreading as it goes. Okay, and I'm gonna clean that off. And let's come down here. I'm gonna add a little water to the top to make sure this is wet. And what have we not used? Blackberry Bliss. I'm gonna add some Blackberry Bliss, okay? And I love the variation in the tone. So there's some darker spots and some lighter spots. Clean that off. And as it starts to dry, then you can go back and add like a little more color to one part of it, okay? I think I'm gonna come back here in the center and add some magenta to this one, okay? And let's see, what color should we make our other popsicles? Let's go with, I'm gonna go with the yellow, so some Bumblebee on here. And then let's put the Blackberry Bliss here at the bottom. I like that one. Okay, and then, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back, and I really like this one because these colors are all kind of within the same family, all those warm tones. I really like this blue, and I want to have one, I've decided, that has all the cool tones in it. So let's go with that. And put that back in there. Let's try the blue, the yellow, and the green. So Bermuda Bay. We'll do Bermuda Bay on top again. And the beauty of this is that you can make as many of these fun little popsicles as you want. The watermelon's really cute too. The green and the pink are together, or kind of whatever you want. I'm gonna do Bumblebee in the middle here. Oop, I forgot to wet this one first. So you can see where my colors sink in just a little bit more. That's fine. I'll kind of do some watercolor around it so that the water really helps the ink to flow. And then I'm gonna take my, running out of space on my scratch paper, add this water here, and we'll do the olive down here. There we go. Okay, I kind of like that one. So it's kind of, I'm gonna have a warm one and a cool one. What the heck, we'll make this one green in the middle. Whoops, forgot to wet my paper again. Yeah, we've recovered. And what color should we put on the bottom there? I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's see, we could go with blue or yellow. Let's go with yellow again. This Bumblebee's cute on here. And again, forgot to wet my paper first. You'll notice right away. So, all right, so there we have some fun. Okay, so now we need to do our stems. I'm gonna add, I'm gonna get this Bumblebee out of here, and I'm gonna add some water to our popsicle sticks, and then we put our cinnamon cider on here to do that. And the cinnamon cider is such a great color. It really adds extra warmth to the other tones that are on our project. Like, as I add this color, it really makes the other colors really pop. So kind of a big fan there. And I want to make sure my watercolor goes to the edge there. Okay, so set aside our water painter. Oh, and I was gonna show you a tip on this. So really you can just take this to the sink and wash it, is really the quickest way to go. But I also, like if I decided I want 2 different colors down here, I could just take my chamois and clean off that part of my block with my chamois. There we go. And now it's clean and I could just go on and add a different color to that part. So lots of good possibilities for that chamois and keeping your blocks clean and so forth. Okay, so I have these guys and I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. So I'm gonna cut this guy first. And I like having just a little border around the edge. It helps to really make the colors stand out because we're gonna layer this onto another sheet of paper. I don't generally layer the watercolor paper onto Whisper White because it's just a little bit vanilla, and I want to not have it be like almost matching but not matching. I'm not super a fan of that. So, okay, and then through the magic of television, I also have one that looks just like that cut out, right? Okay, so we have our popsicles now, and I'll set my inky block aside. And we're gonna go with "You Are So Cool" as our greeting. So I'm gonna bring this over here and ink my Bermuda Bay ink again and stamp on my banner. Okay, so we have "You Are So Cool." And now we need a card base. And I decided for my card base to use Pool Party. And watch what happens to those colors when I bring this in there. So they're cute on their own, but then when I start to bring this like great color to the background, it really makes those pieces pop, right? I love that effect. So we still need our Bermuda Bay pad because I decided I was gonna put these on here kind of like in a little block formation maybe. Where to put the greeting. Okay, so greeting is a problem, right? These images aren't so big that I wanna cover them up. I guess I could do something like that, but I don't want to cover the bottoms of the stick, and I really want them to be in the center. So here's my tip. I'm going to take my greeting and I'm going to cut it in half, plus or minus. There we go. And come back and kind of make like a little 4-square kind of block on the side of our card here. Okay, see how that works? All right, and I've got a little smudge on that side, so I'm going to flip it to this side and bring these back in. My hands are, you know what? That's what my Stampin' chamois is for. It's like an ink magnet. It does a really good job of getting stray extra ink off, so I'll just use it there. Okay, so our greetings are gonna go on here and our blocks are gonna go there, but they are kind of floaty, right? I think they need something to connect them to the card, which is something that I kind of say a lot if you've watched my videos. So I'm gonna bring in my favorite connecting tool, my blending brush, and I'm going to give us a nice focal point here for our background. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of eye where I want my shadow to be, and then slide these off and start to work on that. So blending brushes are, I think, available for order. I didn't check this morning. They've kind of been in and out. So if they're in stock and you haven't ordered them, you should order them right now when they're in stock. They're so popular. They're really good quality too. And I'm just going to use my blending brush technique. So for direct-to-paper, my technique is to wipe on your pad, swirl on your card. And I like to keep it my darkest spot kind of in the same center part. I might try to branch it out just a little bit. And once you've swirled like 3 or 4 times, really, you're not really doing much more. You're not adding more ink. The brushes don't hold a ton of ink, which is ideal, right? Because now I could swipe this all off and go on to another color, pink or something like that. You can wash them, just take them to the sink and wash them just like you would your chamois or your Stampin' scrub. But honestly, I have one for blues and one for pinks and one for greens, and I kind of just stick with it like that. All right, so I think that that might be about what we want. So let's go ahead and check it. I'm gonna bring our pieces back in here. And there we go, so cool. You are so cool. Okay, all right, totally different look to it, right? All right, so let's see what else we can do to add some little background connections. We have this little splotchy stamp. Whoa, which is easy to throw. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to kind of eye where I want this to go, and I'm going to add some some splotchies to our card. Okay. All right, and let's see what we think of that. I'm gonna kind of add them just kind of in a diagonal there with our greetings behind. Oh yeah, kind of like that. Okay, now I also like things with glimmer to them. And we had this sheet, remember, of the glimmery pieces, but I felt like this was too much glimmer for our project. So I'm gonna leave those off and instead bring in my shimmer paints, the champagne shimmer paint, which is discounted on the retiring products list, so last chance products. And we're gonna add this to our cards. So I've shaken it up. It's got a little metal ball inside that helps it to mix. And I'm gonna find my water painter, and I'm gonna pick up some color with this, and I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay, so I've got kind of a lot, and then I'm gonna flick this on our card, which just think about where you're flicking because it is paint. It doesn't really like to come off. So don't flick it towards yourself. Okay. All right, and we've got some, let's get some more. We're going full speckles here. Whoops, that went towards me. Okay, all right. I might be extra sparkly today. And then I'm just gonna run off my paint. All right, and it is going to take a little while to dry, some of those big splotches. So I'm actually gonna cheat and pull a tissue out, and I'm just gonna blot them, okay? Which is cool because our background is blotchy anyway, okay? So now we have some cool shimmer paint blotches to go with our spots. And I can bring these pieces back in here, and we have our little sort of 4-square pattern. You are so cool. And I think it's time to stick everything down. So I really like to pick things up one at a time to add the dimensionals. What's going on here? Ah. Okay, there we are. So I'm gonna come back. They're like sticking to my fingers. Okay, another Stampin' dimensional. There we go. I think I've got so much ink on the top of my paper that they're wanting to come off. All right, and then this guy up here. I guess I covered up my favorite splotch there, but that's okay. And then we're gonna sort of cock those a little bit to the side and do our background here. And these splotches are kind of fun. They're very reminiscent of the popsicle-y parts of our cards. So, all right, and there we have our kind of fun alternate card. So when you have a greeting that's long and wide and you don't love the way it's sort of setting your card up, woo, poor Kim. Okay, setting your card up and you don't like the way it's forcing you to arrange your elements, think about cutting it in half and using it in sections or even in thirds. I've had ones where I've had like 3 little greetings kind of spread around our card. So this is the paper pumpkin for this month. So again, it makes these cards. The refill for all these cards, remember, are literally less than 2-minute card here with our cute kiwi card, kiwi popsicle. The refill to make these parts of it is available in my online store right now, and those are, of course, while supplies last. There's some past ones too. And you will get all the consumable parts for this. So the things you won't get, excuse me, are the stamps and the Stampin' spot. So if you are interested in these things, more of the popsicle-like elements, then you would want to check out the ice cream suite from the catalog here, which there's Sand and Sea, also sad to be going. There it is. This is the ice cream suite from the January through June catalog, and it's got some of those cute ice creamy images on there too. So I love when the paper pumpkins coordinate with the things from the current catalog, so you can kind of add more elements to it if you want to. All right. Okay. So has anybody gotten their paper pumpkin kit yet this month? I saw that Petra said she had hers already. Came this weekend or something like that. Depending on where you are, the post office just delivers a little bit different timing. So if you haven't gotten your kit yet and you're subscribed, don't panic. I'm sure it's on its way. And if you have never been a Paper Pumpkin subscriber before, pay attention in the next couple of next 2 weeks or so, and we're gonna have that Paper Pumpkin new subscriber special. So, all right, but definitely whatever Paper Pumpkin projects you make, remember that alternate projects are a lot of fun, and there are actually some suggestions here on the back of the directions that come with the parts, so you can kind of get ideas from them too. And you can use just the stamps and do things totally separately, or you can use some of the pieces. So like this is the card that's in the Paper Pumpkin kit, and they show an idea here. Let's see, I'll just put it next to it. There we go. Which way? This one. Here, they kind of just have the front of our card mounted on a piece of cardstock. So that gives you a lot more possibilities too. All right, so, oh, Cheryl's still waiting. Deborah's got hers. Yay, lots of fun. But if you are interested in the refills, we never know for sure how many there are, so don't wait to get those. And if you can't see them, or it's like says not available to add to your cart, make sure you log into the online store, and it needs to be the same email address that you're also subscribed to on Paper Pumpkin, so that it can recognize that you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, so that you can get that refill kit. All right, well, happy Monday, guys. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and that you are looking forward to some fun card making sessions in the next week or so. And I will be back on today's Monday. I'll be back on Wednesday with another Maker Mornings with Meg video. So we'll get going on some other fun projects. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for stamping with me this morning, and have a great day. Happy stamping.